Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to the LDP Career Forum. It is our pleasure to host today's live session with Cigna. At this time, all participants are in listen-only mode. Later on, we'll conduct a live question and answer session with the presenters. As a reminder, this conference is being recorded for replay purposes. We have the pleasure to welcome for this live session our speakers, Melissa Teitler, the Marketing Leadership Development Program Director, Maggie Lalima, Leadership Development Manager, and Miguel Garcia Ochoa, the Enterprise Financial Planning and Analysis Senior Specialist. Warm welcome to everyone.
Thanks so much. This is Melissa Teitler. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. I am thrilled to be here with all of you today. I lead the Marketing Leadership Development Program and have been with Cigna for over 13 years. I'm also a graduate of our Financial Development Program and am here today with Maggie and Miguel. We're going to share out today about Cigna, our mission, our industry, and of course, we will talk through our leadership development programs. I'm going to pass it over to Maggie to introduce herself.
Hey everyone, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Hi everyone, Maggie Lalima. I am the lead of our HealthService Leadership Program. Very excited to talk to you more about that today. And I've been with Cigna a little under 8 years now. And I'll pass it over to Miguel.
Hello everyone. I'm Miguel Garcia Ochoa, member of the Financial Development Program. Been with Cigna for 3 years and was also part of the FDP internship, and now on the financial planning and analysis team, and then the enterprise corporate.
Great. Next slide, please. So in addition to the topics that I referenced earlier, we will be sure to leave plenty of time for Q&A at the end of our discussion. So let me start with a little bit about Cigna. So we are a global health services company and a major provider of health services, including medical, dental, disability, as well as some other products and services. Our mission is to improve the health, well-being, and peace of mind of those we serve by really understanding our customers' needs. As a health services company, we really do more than just pay our customers' claims. We are actively working to make our customers' lives better by actively improving their health and well-being through preventative and holistic care. We are active in the communities in which we work and live. We as an organization are really focused on lowering medical costs to keep our customers healthy and the cost of care affordable. We have been a customer-centric journey now for well over a decade, and we put our customers at the center of everything we do. Next slide, please. So let me tell you a little bit about Express Scripts, which we acquired in December of 2018. It is the largest pharmacy benefit management organization, or PBM, in the U.S. The cost of the acquisition was $54 billion, and this combination has really propelled us to one of the largest pharmacy and insurance providers in the U.S., as you can see where we are ranked on the 2019 Fortune 500 list. This combination, in addition to the stats that you can see on the page, really gives us the scale and the resources to both improve affordability for our pharmacy and medical services, but really to improve the value to our customers. So for example, earlier this year, we actually rolled out something called the Patient Assurance Program, which caps customer out-of-pocket costs at $25 for a month's supply of insulin. So just one example of the value we're able to bring to our customers as a result of this combination. Next slide, please. So after we acquired Express Scripts, we resegmented our growth platforms to really better align our strategy to reflect the power of this newly combined organization. Another example of the power of this combined organization is another new program that we announced earlier this month on 2 gene therapies for those with inherited retinal disease and gene therapy for children under 2 with spinal muscular atrophy. So again, really focusing on what can we do as we look at these growth platforms to deliver that value to our customers, whether it's in health services, our commercial, our small, medium employer groups, the government group, or international, but continuing to look at where we can grow and deliver greater value to our customers. Next slide, please. So the healthcare industry is incredibly complex, as I'm sure you all are well aware. This slide is really highlighting some of the global market forces that impact us and that we take into consideration as we think about how best to help our customers and evolve our organization. We really look at these market forces and the way we deal with them as a way for us to differentiate ourselves in the marketplace. So, for example, our aging population. There are more people turning 65 each day than any time before in history. So, as you can imagine, this older population is at higher risk for acute health conditions and therefore require more doctor and specialist visits than the younger populations. We are seizing on this shifting market force to focus on growing our Medicare Advantage and Medicare supplemental services, as you recall in the last slide, looking at that growth strategy in the government business. Next, I'll touch on the eroding health status. So there are high incidences of heart disease, high blood pressure, and diabetes in the U.S. We need to really make sure folks are getting preventative checkups to understand their health status and catch these chronic conditions early and hopefully even prevent them from occurring. Many of you have probably seen our brand campaign focused on knowing your numbers and taking control of your health by going to these preventative health visits. This campaign actually increased the volume of customers going to their preventative care checkups and really continues to positively impact our customers' health. We here at Cigna are really focused on health care, not sick care. One last topic that I want to hit on today is the regulatory and legislative climate. So healthcare is obviously a very hot topic with the government today. I think when you turn on the news, it's coming up pretty frequently these days and really has been for a while. Our leadership team engages regularly with conversations in Washington about the healthcare industry, the healthcare space. Our leaders are really committed to working and partnering with Washington to improve the complex healthcare system in the U.S. and improve it for the patients, for our customers, in terms of accessibility and affordability. Staying connected to our very complex ecosystem is really critical to drive those best outcomes for our customers. Now I'm going to pass it over to Maggie to talk through a sample customer journey.
So I'm excited to tell you a little bit more about a practical example of what a Cigna customer might experience. So Melissa did a great job of sharing really that high level, what Cigna does, what we are all about, and I'm going to share with you what that looks like day to day for a real customer of Cigna's. So here is an example of Kate, a Cigna customer. This is a little bit about her journey. So Kate receives a free biometric screening from Cigna's Health Improvement Tour, and her blood sugar is flagged as a concern. So she wants to take care of that. She finds a primary care physician using her MyCigna app on her phone, and her physician runs tests and diagnoses her with type 2 diabetes. An embedded care coordinator provided by Cigna helps Kate's physician manage her care, and Kate's physician receives a bonus for appropriately monitoring her condition. So there are rewards for those physicians who are partnering with Cigna to provide the best quality outcomes for our customers. Kate works with a Cigna health coach over the phone to create a personal healthy living plan, and her health coach works with her to implement and stick to her diet and exercise habits that they've planned together. Her medications are conveniently delivered to her home from her Express Scripts pharmacy, and if she requires insulin, her out-of-pocket costs are capped at $25 a month by Cigna's Patient Assurance Program, which Melissa mentioned earlier. Kate's mom's health begins to deteriorate as she reaches an old age, and Kate utilizes Cigna's Employee Assistance Program to manage her stress and find a part-time caregiver for her mom. Kate injures her leg in a skiing accident and has to take a leave of absence from her physically demanding job. And when she's ready, a Cigna counselor helps her talk with her employer about a modified work schedule, allowing her to return to work. So these are just a couple of different examples about how Cigna touched Kate's life, not only from a health perspective, but from a whole person wellness perspective, helping her with her mother, some issues she had with a broken leg and needing to really take a break from work. So as you can see here, Cigna is involved in many aspects of our customers' life through many different channels, whether that be with partnership through their physician, telephonically through a health coach, online through our app. We're really trying to be there for all of our customers. So with that, we will turn it over to Miguel to talk a little bit about our different program opportunities.
Thank you, Maggie. So you've seen Melissa and Maggie did a great job of telling you who we are, what it is that we do as a global health services company. Now, we wanted to present you the 3 leadership development programs that we represent. Myself, I started with the Financial Leadership Development Program. We'll talk about the Health Service Leadership Program opportunities, and as well as the market leadership. And Maggie and Melissa will jump in to complete this presentation. So as you see, the Financial Development Program, we are basically located in Bloomfield, Connecticut, where our headquarters are in the U.S., in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where I'm working, and also in Nashville, Tennessee. With the acquisition of Express Scripts in December 18, our employee population turned from 45,000 employees to 74,000 employees worldwide. So Express Scripts headquarters being in St. Louis is implementing a new area where we can explore new opportunities for these development programs, becoming St. Louis a great location for those who just seek opportunities within the health services segment that we have in Cigna. Some sample functional areas you would see: corporate strategy and development, M&A, data analytics, financial planning and analysis. Basically, for the financial development program, 80% of our members are involved on the financial leadership team, so basically doing a financial role, while the other 20% are more focused on strategy or underwriting. Some of them are even involved in robotics process engineering. So basically trying to embed technology into what it is that we do from a financial, organizational, and a strategy perspective. As for the internship, you'd see that all 3 programs are quite similar on the length. So 10-week summer internships offered for the FDP in Bloomfield and in Philadelphia, and exploring opportunities in Tennessee and St. Louis as well. So think about this 10-week internship as a question that the company is asking you, seeking for your own answer, right? It's not meant to be a right or wrong answer. It's just to measure what it is that you would implement. These are not a 10-week internship that goes nowhere. All these projects are meaningful and have an impact on what it is that we do on a daily basis. To give you an example of my own internship, I worked for the Cigna group insurance division during those 10 weeks on the FDP, and I developed an expense model that it was later used and implemented into the business itself. And even nowadays, 3 years after that, they're still using the foundations of that model. So as you can see, what we're looking for is something meaningful for both the intern and also for the company. And at the end of the day, we're looking to that answer. For the Health Service Leadership Program, the location is mostly Bloomfield, Connecticut, and Nashville, Tennessee. These programs last between 5 and 7 years and last 3-4 rotations for 18 and 24 months each once you join full time. Their summer internship is offered in Bloomfield, Connecticut, just because our headquarters are there, our gross employees are there, so that's where you would get the most of the network and experience out of these programs, right? Some functional areas that the HLP does have is account management, data analytics, finance products. Also, some of them are on Cigna Ventures, the new venture product that we started last year, seeking for smaller companies that can implement into our strategy. Marketing and leadership program is a little bit different in structure that we seek conversion from internship to full-time. So what we offer is a 10-week internship in Bloomfield and potentially in St. Louis. This program is a little bit shorter, 3 to 4 years, with 3 rotations lasting 12 to 18 months each. And as you can see, the MLDP offers a different functional areas within the marketing organization, so the internship and then converting it to full-time. Maggie, Melissa, I don't want you to jump in, give your 2 cents on every program.
Melissa, do you want to start? Anything from you?
You know what? I think you covered it well. Thank you.
Great.
Awesome. Same for me, Miguel. Thanks for that.
Awesome. So just wanted to give you in the next slide a little bit of the feeling of our leadership development programs, right? As you can see, we're presenting just 3, but Cigna has over 9 leadership development programs, the ones we're offering for MBAs, obviously, but you can see 96% of retention across all programs in 2018, right? What we're looking for these programs is not just for someone to have a job, but to build a career. Right? The main difference for our LDPs compared to those in other companies is the length, and I do see that as a huge benefit, right? Because if you think about it, it gives you the opportunity to be flexible, to rotate in different areas of the company and just try different things until you get the business acumen that you require to get into a director's position. 90% of our associates graduate over a 5-year period, so as you can see, people are not only willing to rotate and expand, but also to contribute afterwards, become part of the leadership development, and also contribute back to Cigna. So how I see it is, once you graduate, it doesn't mean that you stop rotating. It's just that your rotation takes a bit longer. This company is very, very flexible, asking you what it is that you want to develop next, right? What it is that you want to drive your career towards. 27% of our LDP participants promoted in 2018. So as you can see, there's also an escalation once you're trying to move out into the organization. And also, we want to build a community within our LDPs, right? We also be part of the community within Cigna. All members of the LDPs have to contribute on a volunteer event within the same year. So you see 2,000 hours within 2018, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. Right. To give you a little bit of numbers on distinction between these programs, the FDP has been operating in Cigna for the last 30 years. We are 17 academic members now, and just because of the increased population employees that we have now with Express Scripts, 68 graduates, 6 of them within the executive leadership team. And as you can see, Health Service Leadership Program has 29 members, 15 graduates, and Marketing has 11 members and 3 graduates. So as you can see, these programs, they're not incredibly huge. So we're looking for the right talent, right? Someone who wants to contribute in the company and also contribute to its own career on a path. We're just looking for someone to get a job. It's a path that you have to flow through, right? So on the next slide, we'll give you a little bit of how it is to go through one of these leadership development programs, right? For those of you who are just wondering, hey, how do you choose your rotations? How do you feel like rotating from, the first to second one? And what happens once you graduate from this program? So we'll start with the selection for each rotation, right? I always try to see that as a three-way. So the individual preference, the business need, and then development need, right? So for the first rotation, you basically don't know what you don't know. That's why Maggie, Melissa, and my own FDP director, they act as links between the manager positions and you as a member to make sure that you are successful entering into the first rotation, right? So think about the length of these rotations. The first 3 months, you're just learning about what it is that Cigna does and what it's required from your role and responsibilities. Then after those 3 months go by, between the third month and 12th month, depending on the length on your rotation, that's when you start to build a credibility and go deep into your business, basically putting your own input into your project. So if you think about this is a rotational role. So that means you probably took from someone else and someone's going to take over you. So you want to make sure that you're contributing to make that role stronger and better than you found it, putting your unique input into that. When that second part is gone, then you start to think what it is that you want to do next, right? So you moving towards finding the next rotation. You've been building a huge network while in doing that. We make sure to have those opportunities for you. And then it's up to you to decide what it is that you want to do next. Where are those boxes that you want to check on the next rotation? Do you want to be closer to the markets? Do you want to move from another segment? Do you want to be like myself on the enterprise aspects, overseeing all the highlights of what it is that Cigna has to offer? That's when it comes to driving your own career, right? You move into the second rotation, third rotation. All that learning curve just happens until you get all the skills and business acumen that you need to graduate from the program. As you see, once you graduate, your position in a leadership role within Cigna, and then you need to make sure that internally you have all the required skills that are needed, and for you feel like you've developed enough to come into these leadership roles. But again, like I said before, doesn't mean that you stop rotating. If you talk to alumni from the program, these folks just keep rotating with a little bit longer spectrum, right? So this company allows you to be flexible in saying, hey, what it is that you want to do, how do you want to contribute to the company, and what areas do you want to touch base on. So now Maggie will tell you a little bit about the summer associates, latest ones we had this summer during the HLP, and I'll comment on the FDP, and Melissa will do the same thing for Emma. So Maggie?
Sure, I'll start us off here. So this is just a bit of a specific view into what this summer's class did as some of the roles we had in the HLP. And I see some questions coming through here, so I do want to differentiate between the HLP and the FDP really quickly. I think the marketing program, it's a little more clear why, that is a specific program to marketing. So you may see some similarities in the roles that the HLP summer associates held and the finance folks. The major difference between the two programs is that the FDP is looking to build leaders with a core financial skill set. And Miguel, you can add on here in a moment, but the HLP is looking to build enterprise leaders. Not that the FDP folks don't end up being enterprise leaders, because in fact, our CEO, David Cordani, came from the FDP. But the HLP is really for those folks that want to do more general management. So you might see an HLP or do a rotation in finance, but really there's no one-size-fits-all path through HLP. Our folks might jump from the venture capital team to enterprise strategy to sales, HR, marketing, and the world is endless within HLP. So not a lot of limits within the rotations, which is why you'll see a very diverse set of summer experiences here. So this past summer, we had one summer associate in our venture capital area working on market mapping for a new market that we would be considering purchasing or partnering with a company in that market. We had a summer associate working on fee-for-value contracting, so understanding how we can really provide the most value to our customers and what are the best practices around that. We had a summer associate proposing our next steps, really getting a deep evaluation of our health risk assessment, which all of our customers must take in order to take advantage of our incentives. And then finally, we had a summer associate working on deep dive in our local market for Connecticut. At Cigna, we're continuing to localize into local markets, and we had a summer associate sitting in our Connecticut market working on a ton of different projects related to sales, marketing, but specifically the biggest thing she worked on was CAC, so Collaborative Accountable Care Employer-Client Partnership. So Miguel, I'll pass it back to you.
All right. So as Maggie mentioned, the major between the HLP and the FDP is the finance portion, right? We expect all the FDP members to have a strong financial acumen, right? It doesn't mean that you have to go through the finance path all the way, but obviously there are opportunities to end your career anywhere in the organization. We truly try to focus on bringing the talent that wants to be on the financial leadership team long time. And we have grads that have gone elsewhere, but if you want to be in this program, you have to see yourself in the finance role long term. You see some of the current internships that we had, M&A evaluation model, robotics and process engineering, and accounting and audit. These rotations or these projects that we had, we tend to have valuable every year. So for next year, we're expecting to have between 8 to 12 summer associates with kind of a similar projects, depending again on the business needs that they are. And just to mention, like for the last 3 years, we have 75% on average retention. So as you can see, the path from internship to full-time, we really try to focus on bringing the talent, making sure that those who are contributing to internships also have their path coming into full-time. So to quote on Maggie, the possibilities within the FDP are endless as well. More on the finance spectrum and evaluation and financial modeling. But again, that's our main differentiator between the FDP and HLP. So Melissa, passing on to you for the MLDP.
Melissa, I think you might be on mute.
Thank you so much, Maggie. I certainly was. So what you will see with the list of roles here on the page is that just like with the FDP and HLP, they're spread out across a number of different areas. In my case, across the marketing organization. So, for example, whether it was a digital marketing role like digital brand accessibility, whether it is a role sitting in insights around competitive intelligence or customer experience, or sitting in our brand team focused on things like social media or a brand campaign, or of course working with the business on things like broker engagement strategies. But the intent is for an internship, of course you have one role because it's only those 10 weeks, but through the life of the program, moving people around because our marketing organization is so large and so robust to really allow people to have those different experiences through all of the different marketing disciplines, or as many as we can fit in during the duration of the program.
So I'll really quickly,
go ahead.
Oh, thanks, Melissa. So I'm going to really quickly just go through the recruiting schedule here. You can see we are coming up on our full-time deadlines coming up this weekend. So if you are interested in applying for our full-time programs, please check out those requisition numbers, and the link to apply is right at the bottom of this page. And maybe we can go back to this page during Q&A so folks have a chance to write it down. But the internship deadlines are a little bit later. So you'll see the marketing program date is right around the corner as well, but the FDP and the HLP are recruiting both a little bit longer into January. So those deadlines are in December. So please take a look at this slide, and you can find all the requisition and information to apply at cigna.com/careers. One thing I do want to mention about all three programs and internships, all three do require a U.S. working permit, and that is a permanent permit, not a temporary student visa or anything of the like. So you need to be eligible to work in the U.S. without sponsorship from Cigna. With that said, if you are interested in Cigna, given the roles we've talked about and the mission we've talked about, we do have offices all over the world. So I highly encourage you to search Cigna in general and look at the different countries we operate in. There are dozens. And so there are definitely local roles you could be eligible for if you're not eligible to work in the U.S. in one of these programs. Or additionally, there are some U.S.-based direct hire roles outside of programs that do in fact sponsor. So we can move briefly to the last slide here, Miguel. And finally, just our contact information. So if you would like to reach any of us regarding these programs or any questions at all about Cigna, our contact information is here, as well as our recruiter, Caitlin, at the bottom here. Additionally, all of our contact channels are here on the left, all of our social media if you would like to reach out to us. And then we have a general email box, earlycareers@cigna.com, if anyone would like to find out more information in general about early careers at Cigna outside of these three programs. So with that, we'll pass it back for Q&A.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Dear participants, we will now conduct a live Q&A with all of the presenters. This is your unique opportunity to ask them any of your questions, and you can submit them in the right side Q&A panel. We have our first question from Sata Rupa from Gies College of Business, University of Illinois. If you could help me understand why robotic process automation and process engineering is under FDP.
Sure, I'll touch base on that briefly. So basically, for a couple of years, Cigna has been trying to introduce technology into not only the financial modeling that we have, but also on the way we operate on our pharmacy spectrum, right? So if you go through the Express Scripts sites, you will see that automation on their delivery of pharmacy products is huge, right? They invest a lot on how the pharmacy prescriptions are delivered into people, so they need to make sure that they account for that. They have a great system on storage and then also to deliver. We're trying to implement that also into the systems that we operate with. For finance, for example, for the last year after the integration, we've been trying to consolidate all the financial modeling through Oracle Hyperion. So this automation process engineering not only affects the strategy that we have, but also the systems that we use. All the financial modeling now, we're moving from manual creation of deliverables, just to make the systems create those for us. It's making basically an FP&A world more to focus on the data that we have better than just building the financial structure, right? So this is at this stage of what is Cigna doing. We call that the Project Oscar. So on a daily basis, we're receiving different propositions of how we can implement the robotics and how can robotics help us with the pharmacy segment that we have right now in our hands, and also for the internal technologies that we use every day.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Next question is from Matthew from University of Florida Graduate School of Business, asking you if you could provide more information on what the post-program placement for the MLDP looks like, and also is the MLDP not considered full-time at this point?
Great question. So I hire my full-time folks directly from my intern class. So for example, my summer 2020 full-time hires are actually folks who interned for me this past summer. So because of this intern to full-time recruiting strategy that I have, I'm ultra focused on bringing folks in just for the internship that I think could be good fits for that full-time program. So if somebody interns over the summer, receives an offer in the fall for post-graduation, they would come into the full-time program and go through 3 different rotations in different parts of marketing as a full-time employee, and then they would graduate from the marketing program and just be a full-time marketing employee.
Thank you very much, Melissa. Next question is from Yogesh from Brandeis International Business School. So he is a master's in finance student with over 3.5 years of corporate experience and asking if he's still eligible for a finance leadership program.
Sure. I mean, in terms of what we're looking for prior experiences, once I mentioned the strong financial acumen, that's a thing, a checkbox like that, right? As far as internal requirements, we were recruiting people with a CPA certification or an MBA to be eligible to join the FDP. As I said on these dates, that would be on the category of full-time recruiting, so that would be due 3 days from now. And the requisition number, it's right here to the right. So I would suggest this person to just apply through the career site. We will receive his resume review, and as long as it covers all the necessity checks, I do not see any issue.
Thank you very much. And a similar question for that would be if you could share also requirements for full-time roles in HLP.
Yep, so very similar to the FDP. We actually recruit a lot of the same, from a lot of the same schools, a lot of the same candidate profile. We do require 3 to 5 years of prior work experience related to the healthcare field, as well as a MBA, Master's of Public Health, or Master's of Health Policy. We do not accept CPAs. We do, but they also have to have an MBA.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Next question is from Himanshu from McCreary Graduate School of Management, asking how can this program give a chance to us where we get to develop and present a new innovative offering which involves blockchain, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence? Can we get an opportunity to radically innovate and create a new division with a long-term strategy to support the main business?
Is this specific to one program? I can take this if not.
You can, yes.
Okay, so I can't find this actual question. I was hoping to read it written. I can't find the actual question in the chat, but it's all of the programs actually I think do allow you to be in roles that are on these top technologies and top priority projects within the organization. We actually source roles specifically for our associates that are of critical priority to the business. We also have other development programs that are touching many of those specific technologies that you mentioned. So the Tech DP, the Technology Early Career Development Program, one of Cigna's biggest programs, the Tech DP, you can just search that and it will come right up. There's lots about it online, but that touches many of those IT or technology related pieces that you were mentioning.
Thank you very much, Maggie. It was actually one of the questions that has been submitted to us in advance prior to the session. And we have another question like that from Vikas from ESMT European School of Management and Technology, asking how do you ensure right personality for the diverse group of teams in the company?
Anyone want to take that, or you want me to?
I can take that. Part of my role in the FDP has also been on the diversity, inclusion, and engagement. So, as I said before, what we're looking is for a diverse culture in here, right? We want guys who would have the financial acumen, at least for the FDP, but also people that are that have passion and ability to live with ambiguity, that are also willing to contribute and strengthen the community. Right? As part of all these LDPs, we have like a dual role. For instance, I've been helping not only with diversity and need, but also for recruiting. Other of my peers are helping with volunteer, alumni relations. You mentioned it, right? So all this community strengthened. What we're trying to do is how can we bring the talent to improve our program, but also internally our community, right? So the communities we were serving before, what we're trying to do as well is how it is the work what we do improve the health condition on the people that we serve. Part of my work here at Cigna was to help facilitate the financial spectrum for the markets in the Southeast to help the marketplaces understand their business needs in that area and improve the health and conditions within those areas. So if you think about the necessities of someone in Florida, they might not be the same as those in California. So we need to be able to adapt to that as well.
Thank you very much, Miguel. Perhaps before we conclude today's session, do you have any last-minute thoughts, recommendations to the applicants for the programs? Maggie, you want to go first?
Can you say that one more time? I didn't quite catch the whole thing.
If you have any last-minute recommendations or thoughts for the applicants.
Sure. I would say use this interview process if you do end up applying and interviewing with us. Use this interview process to make sure that Cigna is a fit for you as well. Our process is intentionally built with a lot of touch points and a lot of opportunities for you to get to know Cigna as an organization. We mentioned throughout, we're really looking for folks who want to build a career at Cigna. So it's important for not only us just to feel that you're a fit, but also for you to feel like Cigna is a place that you could be long-term. So really spend some time to get to know us as a company.
Thank you very much. Melissa, anything from your side?
Sure. You know, when I think about these leadership development programs, the profile of folks that I think are generally a good fit are folks who are excited by change. Because as soon as you get comfortable in a role, it's typically time to pull you and put you in a new, different role. And so if you are the type of person that is energized by change, excited by constantly getting up that learning curve and pushing yourself, I absolutely encourage you to consider the development programs at Cigna.
Thank you very much. Miguel, perhaps also something from your side.
Sure. I would say as a former intern now conversion into full-time, make sure you take these opportunities to network, as to Maggie's point, get to know what the program is about. Talk to folks that have been in the program or are currently in the program, you know, go through LinkedIn, establish 30-minute call, or our program members are willing to share their own path with you, tell you what it is, that they think about these programs and why they make the choice to go through these paths as one of the current members. So take that opportunity seriously, and to Maggie's point, make sure this is a good fit for you and that you're willing to be as flexible as all the members here are.
Thank you very much. So really, Melissa, Maggie, Miguel, it was a pleasure to have you here with us today, share more about the company and the programs available. To the attendees, the recording of this session today will be available on the event website tomorrow. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.